Don't forget to shop colorlessoranges.com. Is this thing on? Are we rolling? Rolling. Hello. How are you? Welcome back to Colorless Oranges, where I share my experiences to help better yours. I'm your host, Sydney Hyatt, and today we're talking healing. Sorry. A quick little educational fact I wanted to give you guys. Symbolic violence is when you believe your taste in something is superior to somebody else's. Symbolic violence because your taste in some kind of genre or whatever, in music, for example, that's subjective. So there is no definitive like yes or no. So it's like symbolically violent. You know what I mean? As much as I learned that and I try to stay conscious of it, I am still young and I still believe that for my age, I have the best taste in music. I don't know. Argue with somebody else, not me. Anyways, how are we all doing? Are we in a comfortable space? Are we stressed out? If you are stressed out, this is for you. If you are comfortable, this is also for you. We have all reached a point in our healing journey where everything has crumbled, everything has fallen. Every resource that you have tried to use just does not work. Anything that you try to do is just like no redirection. And you get to the point where you either cry in the car on your way home from work. You either break a dish because you're very upset. You cry in the shower because that's like a safe place for you. You call your friend up, cry hysterically. You let out that passion. You let out that disappointment. You let out those true raw emotions for your situation. And your conclusion to it is, you know what? F this. I cannot do this anymore. I can't continue trying and getting kicked down. I can't figure out what it is and how it is to get to where I want to be. And that's a very hard place to be in because you feel like you've exhausted all your options. You feel like there is nothing more to give to this world. You feel like there is no point in being in the world anymore. They should just hire me as an actress at this point because the way these tears just roll down my face is they should be paid. It's just very difficult. I know it's very hard. I know that in that moment there is no more suspense. There is just disappointment. And it's so hard to get out of disappointment. Like that's why they say to hear your parents say, like, you know, not that they're mad at you or anything, but to be disappointed, because it's so hard to get away from that. It takes you so long to get to a point of disappointment that to get out of it takes twice as long. But once you get out of that disappointment, however long that takes, it is so beautiful. Like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel is so beautiful. Whatever you do to get there, whether that be become delusional, you know, fake it till you make it kind of vibes, that is up to you. I know what works for me is getting to my breaking point and then trying to pick myself back up from there. I see and I understand a lot of things. You know, I know that our cycle is 28 days. So in those 28 days, we have a lot of emotions. And sometimes around day 20, I want to say, I am ready to throw everything out of the window. I want to demolish buildings. I want to set ablaze everything around me. Obviously, there is a deep, settling uncomfortability inside of me that only comes out around that time. And sometimes it's just really bad because, like I said, we try to figure out, how do we get out of this? How do I do this? I feel that trying to put logic into a place where only emotion should drive is where we fall. Logically speaking, we need a job. We need help from the government. We need whatever we need. Logically. I don't want to get too deep into the logic part because that's not what this is about. Logic is telling you that you need all of these things, but your heart is pushing you here. Your emotions want this. And I'm not saying your ego. I'm not telling you, oh, you want to be back with this person because of some kind of emotional attachment you have. Like, that's different. That's ego. That's not like an inner knowing. That's not like intuition. That's just you not wanting to let go and give yourself the space to become somebody new, to see new things. And it's the inability to believe in yourself that you can progress and move forward in life, and you don't have to stay with that person. I know that's very difficult to hear also, because if somebody would have told me that like years ago when I was like in the midst of like, no, I need this person, like this is my person, I need this person, like you don't understand, I would have just been like, if somebody said that to me, like, oh, you just don't believe enough in yourself, I would have been like, shut up, like you don't know what you're talking about. Obviously coming from a place of anger, hurt, egoism, you know, like at that moment I let all of those things guide me, because I truly couldn't get out of that in my head, that I didn't need that person. What I needed was myself. What I needed was myself. I needed to believe 1,000% in myself. As much as I believed in everybody else, I needed to do that for myself. I needed to be in a place that understood that all of these situations that I have been in, who has gotten me out? God, the universe, and myself. Giving myself that kind of faith is what has allowed me to push these mountains and these barriers that I have seen. Because a lot of the times I put myself in those predicaments. I didn't have to do a lot of the things that I did, but I did put myself there. And I like to say I know what I was getting myself into. I kind of had that demeanor of, I'm strong enough to deal with whatever this is. You know, and you think like, sure, like you're able to withstand like arguments and fights and, you know, not getting what you want and just give it to yourself. But I think that there is a part where you are extremely hurt to a point of like numbness, that there is no like literal strength that can pull you out of the numbness. There is no strength that can pull you out of the disappointment. That's not what gets you out of there. It's like the compassion within yourself, the forgiving yourself. Those are the parts that I feel that have actually helped me maintain the love that I have for myself, because at some point you kind of look at yourself like, are you dumb? Like, why would you put yourself through that? Why would you do that to yourself? And you're like angry, disappointed, all of these things, but having the compassion and understanding that like at one point in time, that's what I wanted. So I have to accept myself for it. I have to accept what it was. And sometimes, yeah, like, I don't know, like we all have rose-colored glasses sometimes. We all disassociate sometimes. Like, for example, this girl, the key look. I don't know if you guys have seen the debacle that's going on TikTok. There is this lady who, she's the owner of a business, a Black-owned business. She does makeup, hair. She has a whole team. Did amazing makeup on this bride, hair and everything. Got there super early. And she was kicked out of the wedding. Why was she kicked out of the wedding? Well, you know, she was paid for a service, which was to do hair and makeup. The bride told her that she didn't have a content creator, but she did have a photographer and stuff. But she didn't have like somebody to make like these content videos and stuff like that. So she took it upon herself the owner of this business, the makeup artist, took it upon herself to go and start creating the content. So she was recording 24/7 of this stuff, of this event. She was stopping, like, doing the bride's makeup to take some content here of like the bridesmaids who had finished and stuff like that. After her job was done and the hairstylist job was done and everybody's job was done, her team's job was done, the bride said, oh, you know, they had like an agreement she would stay for 2 hours just for some touch-ups and whatever, and then she would leave. It's going on to now the ending of this wedding. She is trying to get the last pictures and videos for this specific reel or TikTok that she wanted to make. And she goes up to the bride and to the groom and is like, hey, I need a video. And he's like, oh, you're so annoying. You've been fucking pissing me off. Like, he was, you know, rude. She started bawling her eyes out. The bride started consoling her. First of all, it is her day. It is the bride's day. And she is now having to be worried about your feelings. Not to say that you can't stop and do that. That's not even the problem in this at all. But, you know, I was just thinking about, like, you're getting your makeup on my white dress. Like, I should not have to be worried about this. This only lasts one day, my wedding. But, you know, whatever. The bride is consoling her. Cool, whatever. She's like, you know what? Let me leave. Like, I don't deserve to be spoken to like this. And supposedly the bride was like, oh, no, like, don't leave. Like, it's okay. Like, he's grumpy. I'm okay to take the rest of the videos. Like, you know? And she was like, no, like, it's fine. I'll leave. So she left. She gets in her car. She drives away and then drives back. She parks in her same parking spot, goes back inside, and now she's hanging out with the groomsmen. What? Are they called groomsmen? I don't know. Why did they tell her, oh, girl, you look tired? And she laughed. She was like, oh, my God, yeah, I've been on my feet for 12 hours. I haven't even ate anything. It's 7:30, blah, blah, blah. All of this stuff. Cool. The wedding planner comes to her and says, hey, can I talk to you? Like, aside from everybody. And she's like, whatever you have to say, just say it here. She was like, okay, you need to leave. She mentioned how that was so embarrassing, whether or not she had got up and spoke to her on the side or not, because that means that everybody was talking about it. Yes, of course, everybody's talking about it. Why did you leave and come back? Anyways, she goes on. She continues to say her story, whatever. She shows a glimpse of her crying on her way out from that place, from the wedding. And she's like, I don't understand why this is happening to me. I don't understand why I had to be kicked out. I didn't do anything to anybody. First of all, a wedding is supposed to be for you to celebrate the ceremony of these two individuals. You don't know these two individuals. You were paid to do a service. You should have left after the service. The reason why I bring all of this up, though, is because how she opened this entire situation was she had just found out that her boyfriend was cheating on her. And they had broken up or whatever. And she was devastated about this. And the wedding was 2 days after they had broken up. So she wasn't feeling well. She was very sad. She mentioned how she cried a lot. First of all, why is it that we put everything above ourselves? We put everything above the creations that we want. We put X, Y, and Z over us. Had she taken a moment to heal, obviously healing is a long period of time, but she would have understood that she's going straight in to do a job. And after that, she's back to herself. She completed what she needed to complete. And now she's going to be by herself elsewhere at home healing, you know, because she's like, oh, like, I never wanted to disappoint a bride or anything like that. Okay. So you go do your job and you leave. Why did you stay there for 12 hours? You put yourself in that predicament to be yelled at, to be mistreated. And obviously nobody should ever be mistreated or anything like that, which a lot of people from the wedding party was like, that's a lie, nobody did that to her and whatever. So regardless, even if they did or they didn't, we should know and have like a little bit of discernment of like when we should leave. Social cues, understanding like, I need to go heal, I need to go be alone, I need to work on myself, I need to be alone, I need to do what I need to do for myself. I need to go after these clients are done. I've did my job, I will leave. I know it's very hard, because now you start dissociating from your feelings. You know, you've been holding back all your tears. You've been holding back all these thoughts that you've had about your person and whatever, just to get your job done, just to focus. And now you're so deep into focusing that you kind of forget what you need to be doing. I don't know why I keep thinking back to this one specific time where I was just so distraught, and I was like, please, like, I will do anything to get this back. Like, I just want this back. Because you kind of want like this idea of what this is supposed to be. Obviously, the potential of something. This is something imaginary. This is not even real. And you're begging to have this back. But okay, cool. There is nothing that could have clicked in my head until it clicked when it did. And I had to keep going through that lesson over and over and over to understand. And my ego was leading there, my hurt, my abandoned wounds, like the abandonment that I have dealt with in life was just coming up there so evidently. I was like, please, just not another person like leaving me. Like, I need this. How can I make this work? Like, why is this my fault? And it brought up those wounds so that I can let go and I don't have attachments. And also to understand that not everything is here to stay forever, you know? We die. Like, that is the best example of that. Like, even we die. Change is evident. And sure, I mean, you can have a consistent relationship, but you won't have a consistent person because that person will always change. Are you willing to stay with that person through their changes? Or are those people soulless and don't change? Because that's also a different topic. Like, I feel like some people can just stay married with somebody for a long time because they're oblivious. And, I mean, whatever. I'm not here to judge, though. That it is what it is. But I feel for that lady. I feel like she just needs a little bit more of a lesson to understand, like, she was not welcomed, and it's not anybody's fault that she went through what she went through, but herself. In her video, she was talking about, you know, she wants to leave this industry, the wedding makeup industry, because she's always getting treated bad. Like, she doesn't get half of what she puts in it. Isn't that a good sign to see that you have been pouring too much out? Whatever it is that you're looking for, and if you're looking for yourself in those projects, you're never going to find it. I feel that there is a time and place for everything. Certain people don't want that kind of liveliness to certain things, you know? As I watched all the clips of the fucking wedding that she was recording, you know, the bride and the groom are still on their honeymoon. They haven't even posted anything. And she's out here posting everything. She was even in the middle of the aisle taking videos while they were getting married. Not even the photographer was doing that. And she posted all of this. The delusion, the deception, the disassociating is insane with this lady. She's pouring into something that isn't giving her anything back. I think we can all relate to that. We've all had something that we've been given 1,000 shots to, and it didn't give us anything back. But these lessons, which I think that is the point. There is nothing bad that can happen. You know what I mean? Unless you view it that way. These are all lessons. These are all things that we can learn from. I've been holding myself back because I don't want another lesson. And it was cool for a while. You know, I kind of even like disassociated a bit. I kind of took a step back and just like, I didn't surrender. I kind of like clenched tightly, actually. I keep talking about all of this change that I want to do, and I was talking to my mom, and it kind of like, in my head, it felt like I was going to be moving tomorrow, and I was like, I don't think I'm ready. Like, I'm praying to the universe every single day, please, I want change so badly. I actually don't, I think. That's why we stay in the places that we stay, because we, deep down inside, do not want to change. Sure, the abandonment hurts. Sure, these arguments are bothering me. Sure, I don't have a door. Sure, these situations are not ideal, but it's better than the unknown. It's better than trying to figure everything else out. It's better than doing something that I've never done before. It's easier to sit here and stay where I know what's going to happen. It's the lesser of the evils. And I kind of said that the other day, and my dad was like, that's an emotional response. I don't really understand how that could be an emotional response. If I stay here, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm doing. If I go and move on, I have to figure out how I'm going to do everything. And then there's a lack of belief in myself, because I had this one situation that happened to me. So now I'm carrying that situation, that pain, that abandonment, all of those things in that luggage that I'm luggaging, I'm carrying with me. And I'm bringing it into this new situation. Which I feel like that's what we do with partners too. Like, our ex cheated on us. So now all of a sudden every guy's a cheater. And I'm trying not to hold myself back anymore, because I am holding myself back. I realized it. I'm trying to fight these tears from coming out. Honestly, I don't want to cry. But that's what this podcast is about. It's about bringing out those emotions to move on. I'm trying to help us all evolve. And we can't evolve until we let out what's been bothering us. Nothing new can start until we let go of the old. That's why, men cheat. They found something else. Okay, now they can let go. They're never going to let go and not have anybody else. Not women, nobody, nothing. It's very difficult for us to let go of something that's not serving us and then wait and find something better. Like, I moved out of my old apartment, like my first apartment, to my mom's house. Waited here for a bit and then found another house. Found my other apartment. That month that I was waiting, it was like, it was a go. I was like, I don't know what I'm not staying here though. I'll tell you that much. I'll do anything I gotta do to get out of here. This time around, it is soul crushing to get out of here. Is it ideal that my sister and I don't talk? No. Is it ideal that I don't have doors? No. I'd rather deal with that. I don't like crying so much on here because I just did my makeup just for this, and now it's like all ruined. But anyways, it's just very difficult for me to want to leave here because I don't want to leave my family. That's just it. I don't want to be alone. I think I keep trying to word it like, oh, I don't want to leave my family alone. Like, I don't want my mom to be alone. I don't want my brother to be alone. But it's just me. I don't want to be alone. Just cats out of the bag. And it's so funny because I keep screaming to the roof, through the roof, everywhere. I just want to be alone. I need my alone time. I just want to be alone. If you want to be alone, then you would have been out already. I don't know what. It's so difficult because I can't give myself excuses. I did for a while, but once I realized it, I can't go back. So now that I know this, I know that I'm trying to do what's possible to do what I need to do for myself. I owe it to myself. It's so. And that was the end of tape 1, starting tape 2. I think that your excuse can coincide with your like true desire, or like what you're truly running from. I can sit here and scream and, say my excuse for not leaving is I don't want to leave my siblings or my mom or whatever. I don't want to leave my family. While that's true, it's not that I don't want to be by myself. It's that I don't believe I am capable of doing these things alone. I hate saying that because truly speaking about these things and sharing it with the world, being this vulnerable, is a little difficult for me. I realize that that's not fair for me to say that I'm not capable of something, because I'm the person that believes I'm capable of anything. But that was a realization. At one point in my old apartment, I felt like I wasn't capable anymore, and so I let go. I let my lease finish. I was trying to find a better way to fix that situation. It never came, and so I've just been here at my mom's still trying to figure out a way. I've realized that I have feelings of incapableness to myself. I don't feel like I can do this alone, which I did do it alone, and I need to not look at the cup half empty. I was able to do it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, however long I did it, however many times I did it. I need to start looking at my accomplishments as accomplishments. I need to start looking at the things that I have done as accomplishments. I can't let the dark side win. I can't allow myself to really fully believe that I'm not capable of doing something. Like, I'm at the end of my 2nd degree right now. While you might not care or anybody else might not care, I didn't care at one point. It is a really big accomplishment for me. Sure, I might love school so much, and this is something that should be normal for me, but it's truly an accomplishment. Whether it was hard for me to do it or not, it is still an accomplishment for me. Just because a straight A student, is the valedictorian doesn't take away from them being valedictorian. Like, they worked hard for that. And even if they didn't work hard for it, they still accomplished it. I still have other things under my belt that I should be more proud of. I should be happier with. And I'm trying to practice that. I'm trying to practice gratefulness within myself. Not necessarily just grateful for the things that are in front of me, the material things, but for what I have done for myself. And it's time that I put myself on the forefront and not just find another project to keep putting over my needs. I put everybody else's needs above my own. It doesn't even matter who it is at this point anymore. Whether they deserve it or not, that doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just simply put, I need to put myself first. I need to do these things for myself. I have tried to find many ways to do certain things, and if I'm being honest, like, they're not working, and there are better ways to do these things. I think number one is like actually writing cover letters, because I don't write cover letters. A couple weeks ago, I was at the point of like maybe 2 weeks ago, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I don't know what to do. And I was in my wallow. I was in my pity. I was in my sadness. I said, F healing. And I tried to Say, forget it. Like, I'm done doing anything. As if I wasn't doing that this whole time. It didn't feel different because at that time I wasn't doing anything. So I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I continued on doing what I was already doing. I didn't change anything. The moment came when it was like, okay, well, if it's F everything, then you got to find your way to get to school. And that's when I was like, oh, wait a minute. I really haven't been doing all of the things that I think I could have been doing. Like, I don't know, like something clicked in my head where I was like, you're not doing shit for yourself. You're keeping yourself here with everybody else and as if you're like nothing. Like, girl, wake the fuck up. You're something. You're someone. You need to be somewhere. Playing it safe and playing it cool and all of this, like, that's not even me. What are you doing? Once I realized that, I was like, oh, I got back on my job applications. I got back on my networking with people asking for help in ways that I needed. Like, do you know of any jobs? I need a job. It took that moment of F healing to show me that I'm not putting myself first. I'm not helping myself. I'm not actually actively helping myself. To then understand how to help myself, what it is that I need from myself. And we're here now. I no longer feel like F healing. I am actually trying to heal that part of me that feels incapable, who feels like I can't do shit by myself. I can do many things by myself. I have done things by myself. And this might seem huge and scary and whatever, but I can overcome it. I have the strength to. I have the knowledge to. I have the education to be able to do this. This isn't far beyond me. And even if it is, I will still be able to get through it. I got myself by my side. I have the universe by my side. And I have this lovely support group of people that are in my life. And that's it. There isn't much more to say other than I fear you are not doing what is best for you, and you know it. And that's the sad part, that you know that you could be doing so much better. So complain, let it out. Oh, but this isn't fair. I don't have this. I was on some, I don't have a job. Like, nobody's hiring me. Like, I can't get a job. Let it out. You know what? I'm not actually going to do anything anymore. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I surrender. I let go of everything. I'm not doing anything anymore. And there is where you will find what it is that you need from you to you. I was so agitated the other day with the heat and stuff that I had on a long sleeve shirt and some jeans and sandals, and I was very hot. When I came upstairs, my mom was like looking at me and she was like, is it hot outside? And I was like, finally somebody's asking me something that I care about, that I want to talk about right now. Yes, it is so hot. And I like almost ripped my shirt off my skin, and then I was like slamming it. That's when I realized I was very angry. A lot of pent up anger. But it's also around, you know, those 28 days. We know what day it is. I recently heard that depression is a lack of expression, which that changed my mind completely. I've noticed that I will get a little bit angry because I feel that people aren't listening to me. Like, it is my biggest pet peeve, I feel. Actually, there was a stark difference that came to mind the other day. I was having a conversation with my father, and he was saying how, you know, when he was young, like, people didn't allow him to speak his mind and stuff like that. So he doesn't ask questions and stuff. Whereas me, I grew up and I would ask 1,000,000,001 questions about every single thing in this world that I could possibly ask. Like, why is this like this and whatever, you know, I could really go very far. And I would get in trouble, not necessarily from my mom, but like in school, you know, my report cards would always say talkative, disruptive, because I would be talking to everybody next to me. You would put me by, I remember very vividly, they moved my desk and my chair to next to the door in the classroom. And I was still talking to people. my teacher put me next to her. I was talking to her. Like, you could put me anywhere next to anybody. I was tried to be held down. They tried to silence me, and it didn't work at those ages. Because I truly didn't care, It was just who I was. Like, it innately came out, like, vulnerably, like, it would just come out of me. As I've gotten older, I've become a little bit more reserved in a sense where I don't feel so much like I should express myself. And there's two reasons. Number one, perfectionism. There's a part of me that feels like I need to present everything perfectly. And I need this to be a certain kind of way. The lighting needs to be like this. Why should I film here? People are going to look at me like I'm crazy. Like, all of this stuff, right? I don't believe that nothing is perfect. I think everything is perfect. But not because it was tried to be perfect, but it just is perfect. I hate when people say that there's just no such thing as perfect. I believe that there is. And, maybe you can battle perfectionism in that sense where, like, you hold yourself back because you know how amazing it could be. But that is what makes a star a star. You understand? It was dealt with carefully. It was maintained properly. It was brought up properly. It was molded the way that it needed to be. Just because I don't look at perfectionism as like, oh, my hair needs to be done before I film a video. Like, no, I don't think like that. I just think that I get overwhelmed with so many of my ideas that I'm like, well, if I don't have this like this, then it's not going to come out good. And that's what I'm battling. I'm also battling the ideas that my voice is not necessary. And that's come from a lot of like people like trying to knock me down, not understanding me is like a really big part that hurts. Because I'll try to explain as deeply as I can, but like there's just a level of comprehension that we don't share, so you don't understand, and that part really hurts. Also, another thing is when you're not listening, that like enrages me. It's like I'm talking, like, where is the fucking respect? You know what I mean? So I feel like there's nobody listening. But it's come back in me where it's like, I need to just let this out. I have to let this out. This is why I fight so hard for my podcast, because this is the only place that I can say what I want to say and not feel like no one is listening or like it's useless or anything. I feel like it's the most useful. I feel like it is perfect here. Sometimes I'm trying to be more casual and more compassionate to myself. Just let things happen, speak my mind when I want to, say what I want to say. If it is redundant because somebody else already heard it, I didn't know. And at the end of the day, it's my thoughts. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Doesn't even matter. I got to get out of this box of you're not capable, everything needs to be perfect. Express myself when I want to express myself. Because I don't necessarily feel like it creates like a depressed version of me. I just think it creates like an angry person. And I will be angry. I was angry for a long time, actually. And parts of me, that part of me still comes out where when I don't feel like I'm being heard or appreciated or anything, I get triggered and I keep holding it and holding it and holding it until I can't anymore. And now I want to argue and scream and fight and cry. And it takes some time, it takes some practice. Like I've gotten through these certain things, obstacles, time and time again. But I think that this one solidifies everything for me. Depression is a lack of expression. Just express myself, just talk. And that's what all I've been saying is like, that's the only thing that helps me is to talk about my issues, talk about the things that I feel, to then find a solution for them. And I found my solution that I wasn't capable of doing these things when I talked to myself and I was like, wait, you have to go take the train, girl. You have to get on a bus and go take a train. What else have you been doing that's like this? Everything has just been so leisure, so luxury. You've had a lot of luxury. You've had this cushion under you for a very long time, which I'm very thankful for. But it really showed me like, wait, you got to do this for yourself. You got to give yourself this luxury. Figure it out. Find a way, you know? And that's what I'm trying to do. I try to help myself here and there by giving myself ideas and those feelings of what it feels like to do it for myself. And we're almost there. I'm very proud. I'm very happy to let out my feelings, to express myself in the ways that feel true to me. I love people who want more for themselves, who believe and know that it's out there and they can attain it. I hope I'm one of those people for you. Yeah, I'm going to end today's episode there. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. I am Sydnarella. I am Sydney Hyatt. I am your host on Colorless Oranges. Don't forget to shop colorlessoranges.com. We are out of stone blue almost. We have XL and double XL pretty much. There is a nice healthy stock of everything else. Also, the baby tees are there. I'm not sure if many women watch, but the baby tees are really for the women. They're not necessarily cropped, and they do come in small to double XL. So if you're more bustier, you know, we got all the sizes for all of us. Yeah, I'll see you and you in the back soon. Thank you so much for listening to me today. It means more than you know. Just to be heard and to be understood means the most to me.